animals, and I know Timothy's got a deformity, but we're also going to be meeting up with another animal that has a little bit of a deformity, but he's using that for an ambassador purpose. We're going to be talking about frogs in a little bit. If you know what sound a frog makes, we're going to be helping you figure that out and test our knowledge later in the show.
I like your shirt, John. He is.
We spent the day with Aaron from PA Woods and Forests, finding and learning about wildlife native to Pennsylvania, specifically frogs.
Spring peepers are out from a lot of times late February until November. A lot of people think that spring peepers have pushed out other chorus frogs as they've dominated the landscape because there's a lot of fragmented habitat now, and species like the mountain chorus frog and the upland chorus frog are not as common. And the green frog is by far, with our project, the most abundant semi-aquatic or semi-terrestrial frog because it's the most dominant pond frog. It seems to move in whenever habitat has been. Again, they're both very important because they're the sounds of spring and the sounds of summer.
Welcome back. Aaron Kapulas is here. He is from the PA Woods and Forest, and Frog Week starts today. Hi, Aaron. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you for having me again, Casey.
Our pleasure. First, let's introduce this little star over here. She's beautiful.
We have the cover animal for Frog Week 2026. Her name is Junia. She's come from all kinds of unique stories, but she's been with us for a few years now, and it's very fitting that she's the cover animal and we were able to get her here. Wasn't sure how she's going to perform for us today because she's not very excited to be in smaller tanks, but with the air on, she's a little bit more laid back today.
Yeah, she had a troubled start, but now she's got the life of luxury with you. She is a rescue frog.
She is, yeah. She has a waterfall, so like running water.
Okay.
She experiences a sunrise and a sunset every day like we do. And she even has rain and fog, and she gets to enjoy a lot of like native plants that move throughout the tank. Like they come up every year and go down like seasonal.
Is that one of them?
That's a great question. So the plant on top of her was actually donated to us from Josh's Frogs, who's another sponsor of Frog Week. They've been a part of it all of it for since 8 years if they've been on it. But the pitcher plant is actually a carnivorous plant that grows in Pennsylvania, and they donated that so classrooms had the opportunity to learn about these. And all across the counties that we're in, from Bedford to Pittsburgh, kids had a chance to raise that. That actually was in classrooms. Now it's out soaking up the sun for the summer, and it's going to go back again whenever the opportunities present.
All right. Tell us about Frog Week.
Absolutely. You can see both of these in Frog Week. Junia has a story in it, but it's a conservation project that started in February, and it goes the whole way through to July. We're on 8 years of it, so we do this annually. We have a lot of unique things that we do with habitat construction in backyards. We've done it at church camp. We're also in colleges. We also go out and we do bioacoustics. What that means is we're basically trying to get audio callback of frogs, and we're trying to use that for research, so that way we can potentially do even more with it. We also have an iNaturalist project, which is understanding the distribution of frogs and toads from Bedford to Pittsburgh. So let me explain for a second. That's basically people that we trust going out and getting pictures and audio files of these animals so we know how many of what species are where. So that way we can identify, hey, the toads are doing better here, the northern green frogs are doing better there, there's mountain chorus frogs over here, so we can understand a little bit more of what's going on across the state.
And all of this is for conservation purposes.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, with the conservation purpose of building habitats in your backyards, it has two things to it, two phases. We want to encourage people with environmental stewardship. We want to make the next round of conservationists and herpetologists, the people that study frogs. We want that to be the students that we go to the classrooms to meet, or if they come to the events to hike with us. But we also want to create a habitat and create a sense of excitement about frogs and toads. So we want people to champion them. And these stories about them, because I believe the woods are full of stories, we're telling these stories about each of the species, plus our target animals that are ambassador animals, so people have a chance to learn all about these different stories of what's happening to them, what's happened to them, and what are what are the frogs that have names doing even? So there's a lot of different things that they can learn from understanding, watching the videos, what they're going to see.
And this is something that we can all do. We can all build like a habitat in our backyards.
Yeah. The best thing about our backyard habitat priority is that we're using things like utility tubs that you can take with you if you move, or bat houses you could take with you if you move. So many different things. Also, probably one of the coolest things that we pitch to people is the weather station. So we get microclimate data. We're understanding essentially, is it 10 degrees warmer in Bedford versus Johnstown? And does that dictate where we go in terms of like where we look for animals? But we also don't reveal locations of like where these animals are. So I can just say kind of like cities or counties, but realistically, we're not really revealing that for the safety of the animals.
That's wonderful. I love what you're doing. And Aaron, we're just about out of time, but where is the best place for people to go for information?
If they want to check out the Woods and Forests Media YouTube channel, Frog Week is going to have episodes all week. And the PA Woods and Forests website is going to have where we're going to be at for events.
Thank you so much for what you're doing. I think it's important work. And thank you for bringing this sweetheart in. She's beautiful.
Her first appearance right here.
I'd give her a kiss and look for my Prince Charming, but I think I'd have to kiss a male frog.
She'd be a Princess Charming, I guess.
All right. We'll be right back on Fox 8 News Now.
Welcome back into Studio 814 Fun. We are joined today by Aaron, but we're also joined by two frogs, or I guess a frog and a toad. Aaron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you guys doing?
Really excited now that these frogs are here.
Can you introduce us to our little guys over here?
Absolutely. So this is Silas. He's named after a biblical wives' tale, the man of the woods. I think that it's pretty awesome to give him that because American toads are found in the woods. Esperanza, the Spanish name for hope. That's the gray tree frog to your right. So I have both of these guys here with us today.
They are so adorable. We're here to talk about the PA Woods and Forest Frog Week, which is like Shark Week, but a little bit more local.
You could say that, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love it. So we have these frogs here. Talk to me a little bit about the Frog Ambassador Program.
Yeah, so I have an educator permit with the Fish and Boat Commission, and it allows me to have essentially like a white list of animals. So I could have a certain number of them. I have to fill out my actual report each year. The cool thing is these guys get to go into classrooms. They get to teach kids about frogs and toads. We also have the opportunity to make some shows for them on YouTube. So they are named so that way people can understand there's a cult of personality behind each of these animals. And also they have really awesome experiences when they go visit places or whenever they're eating. Of course, that's everybody's favorite time. But also their personality watching the segments of the show and actually having a good time with us here. There's definitely more going on than meets the eye for a lot of these animals.
Yeah,
Definitely.
there's definitely a lot of personality happening right now. I know that they both have some really incredible stories. I don't know if any of our viewers were able to see it on the close-up of our friend over here.
Yeah.
But he is missing a hand.
Yeah, he is. So Silas was a unique situation. The reason, let me explain how I got these guys. So I go out into the woods, I film, I'm a conservationist, I've gone to school for biology, I've done all this different stuff, but I founded a nonprofit. We want to work with animals in the human conflict zone. So where animals are going to meet people, there could be problems. Well, Silas comes from a place where it's a very well-known fishing spot. And as I was out there filming different frogs to teach people about each species, this one little American toad on Easter Sunday of 2025 came out of the woods, and I knew something was wrong though because he was making sounds, he was gushing blood, and he was leaning. So it took about 5 months to work with a vet in Pittsburgh, but we got his wrist to heal up. He wasn't infected, and he's getting ready to go into one of the biggest tanks that I've made, so I'm really excited for him.
You were telling us about this tank and how incredible it is. It has like a rainforest cycle. It's got all of these wonderful things almost mimicking the wild. Obviously, a toad like this would struggle a bit in the wild, especially with his missing hand. So talk to me about this enclosure that you're going to have them in.
Absolutely. So the nice thing about all of the tanks that I have, but it started with the toads. I call it the vivarium, so that's like plants and animals together. They call it a vivarium. Plants is a terrarium just by themselves. But anyway, this is supposed to mimic the Pennsylvania woodland. So where these American toads are living, I have introduced the native plants. They experience thunderstorms. They have a sunrise and a sunset every day. They have fog storms. They go through weather like we do. So they have a lot of cool things for stimulating their minds and also enriching them and giving them a lot of cool things to explore in their tanks, and it's a huge tank. It's over 6 feet long.
That is crazy. And now, talking about stimulating the mind, talk to me about the reason behind having Frog Week.
The reason behind having Frog Week originally started with an animal that I had met. I actually had found a toad at a plant nursery, and it fell into a pot. I brought that toad to my house, and I fell in love with its personality. It ended up actually getting sick. Something started to go wrong. I wasn't at the time aware of all the parasites and things and the vet visits that would come after that. Long story short, that toad had overcame a very serious health issue, and I had to make a decision at that point. I said I never want that to happen again. So it was really fueled from coming home and seeing these animals to go back out into the wild and want to make an impact and not see that happen again to my animals at home, but also to want to make an impact on those animals. And it's only grown as time's gone on with making episodes, educating kids, doing actual research. We're doing a lot of cool stuff.
And why is that education really important? Especially, I feel like people don't really think very much about some of the little guys,
Right. It's very important because a lot of times frogs and toads don't end up in the spotlight. And especially for an animal that is so fragile, so sensitive, it's very easy for these guys to disappear from backyards, let alone a whole population to disappear from a county, and so on and so forth. So we interact in the human-animal conflict zones to try to help, but honestly, bringing these animals into the classroom is a way to try to ensure the next group of conservationists, the next group, you're gonna laugh, but herpetologists, that's who study reptiles and amphibians, that's the name of the scientist. But so we wanna encourage the next generation to care about these animals, and the only way really to do that is to be real, to create like real content, but also to give them an opportunity to meet these animals in person.
So now, I know when you do a lot of your research, you have these field tools over here. Can you talk
do.
to me a bit about the equipment that you're bringing?
Yeah, so I have a couple of things on the table that have been with me throughout the 8 years, but also a part of Frog Week that are major aspects. So this is kind of cool. These are actually binoculars or goggles, whatever you want to say, but they're infrared as well. So we have our friend Esperanza that's on the table to the right. If I were going to find a tree frog in the wild, one way to do it is to climb a tree. I don't think that would go super well for me. So another way that I could do it would to be bringing goggles and having an infrared light. So now I could see the animals in the tree climbing around and calling, and this records in 5K. So I could actually put that into the show. Yeah.
That is incredible, because I'm sure a lot of these guys are very mellow in the morning and then very active at night.
Yeah, it's like playing hide and go seek, because if they see you, they stop calling. And that's a very easy thing.
And they both look like they can camouflage very well. I don't think I'd be able to see him in a pile of leaves, and I don't think I'd be able to see him against tree bark.
Gray tree frogs are pretty unique because they could change their coloration very fast. So he could be light green, he could be a very dark gray, he could be kind of the natural color he is now. Toads aren't quite as dynamic. They could kind of stay their base color, a little bit darker, a little bit lighter, but if he hops around, absolutely you could see him. But yeah, so the binoculars are really important. We're going to get into this when we play our game. This is really important for a lot of animals because frogs alone are one of the most unique because they call, they make sounds, and that's really exciting for kids. It's also a really important giveaway for if you're going to go looking for them, monitoring populations and other things like that. So understanding how to get callback from them might be the only way to know an animal's out there, or the only way to actually get a shot of one is to hear it calling, to pinpoint it. So that's one of the reasons why we're going to play the game, because I teach kids the same thing.
Yeah. I'm very excited to play that game. Actually, I think it might almost be time for that game. So we're going to wrap up here, and we're going to put our skills to the test in a little bit in a Guess the Frog Sounds game. Welcome back to Studio 814 Fun. We're back on the couch. We should call it 81 Frog. I feel like that would make sense. We had one of them just ate a worm, and you would not believe how quickly he devoured that worm.
Like, it was just super awesome.
Really cool to see. But now I'm very excited to try to test our skills with these frogs. I don't know a ton of different frogs. Like I was saying, I know the White's tree frog because my friend has a few of those, but I think that's all the frogs that I know.
I don't know if I could identify, but I know that we do have a picture of a couple of the frogs that we're going to be trying to guess today.
Yeah.
And we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah. I left that graphic to give you guys a, 8 answer option because those are the 8 frogs and toads we documented this year. So I'm actually going to play calls from the frog call video for Frog Week, so you guys will get to hear it. No pressure though. I had some seniors guest write calls. I had some younger kids. I usually go all the way from kindergarten to college, but even nursing homes. So we're going to test your skills here.
Who usually does better, the kindergartners or the seniors?
Probably the late elementary school kids do the best.
Interesting. I feel like this is like, are you smarter than a fourth grader at this point?
We're going to find out.
Let's do it.
Let's take a look at some of the frog options that we have. I don't even know if I can read that from here.
Green frog, American toad, spring.
Oh, wow.
That was a frog?
That was a chorus of frogs.
As a chorus, that sounded like a bird.
Which one's the most bird-like?
That'll be. We could get into that one if you want. We can definitely like.
I like the spring pepper for this one because I feel like I don't know, she looks like she could sing.
Is that the little orange
That's
one?
the little orange one. She looks like she could sing.
I'm feeling that.
You're gonna go with that one too?
Sure.
I like spring pepper.
So for this call, is this the one you think it is?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going with spring pepper.
So there is actually a spring peeper in there.
Oh,
It's the
peeper.
higher
It's
pitched
not
sound.
pepper.
That's all right. But the higher pitched sound, if you're listening, that high pitched peeping sound, that's the spring peeper.
Okay. It's pretty good.
Now the lower call, it sounds. Some people will call them like a little duck, but it's a wood frog.
Oh.
So this is actually from the episode. You can see it.
Oh wow.
But
Really cool.
It does kind of sound like a duck.
yeah,
Like a quack 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 quack.
It's very high-pitched, too.
they come out in late February through March. They only have a couple of hours, maybe a couple of days, depending on the population,
Wow.
and that's it. Like if you're not out there filming, you're not out there like with them, you miss them for the whole year.
Wow.
Take a look at our next frog.
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh.
This sounds like I'm doing like an EMF reading. I'm in a house. I'm seeking a
This
ghost.
one's a little scary and it sounds a little big.
A little deep. I mean,
If this comes out of one of those little tiny things, I'm gonna be shocked.
I like the idea
What's
that this
the-
is the bullfrog.
I was gonna say that too, or maybe who's the little gray guy on the bottom?
The gray tree frog.
Yeah.
You're gonna go with gray tree frog.
I feel like it's probably the bullfrog.
I think it's the
but-
bullfrog, personally.
Great guesses. So that's actually the pickerel frog.
Oh, neither of those are
So
right.
neither.
It's the frog with all the spots.
Yes.
That's a
That
pretty.
comes out of that
It looks like a
beautiful
leopard.
So not to make it more confusing, there is a frog in Pennsylvania called the leopard frog.
Oh my goodness.
But the pickerel frog is the one that we were filming, and it's a really cool species. This year was one of the better years filming them. They actually got caught wrestling, and there were American toads like Silas that were wrestling with them in the ponds. So a really cool episode for people to check out. I just wanted to play that. Let's see here. There's always hope, right, guys?
Yeah.
I think we have to get one, right? Well, technically, I got the peeper.
You did get the peeper.
What is that?
That's a boat horn.
I can assure you they're all frog calls. I promise. There's a spring peeper, so you got that one right, but
Who is this guy?
I think this is the wood frog.
That's what I was thinking too, actually.
You know those instruments where you strum the back of the frog? This reminds me of that. So I'm gonna go with wood frog, locking in my answer.
all right. That's what you got?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
All right. It's actually the bullfrog.
No!
Okay.
Yeah. I threw one easier at you guys. I thought like, all the kids get that
deeper
one.
Noise.
All right.
All the kids get that one.
I think we have time for one or two more.
Okay. So one or two more. Let's do this.
One more in there. Wow.
You asked me about a bird. This one sounds kind of like a
Really
bird.
This is a frog.
This is a frog.
I cannot believe that these noises come out of
I'm
them.
going with the mountain chorus frog. I like the mountain chorus frog.
It is very choral, singing,
Yeah.
songy.
Yeah, locking it in.
How about you?
Go for it.
Yeah? Do you see the picture though? It's a gray tree frog.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
You even had
that was the one
giveaways.
that I'd said
That was the
earlier.
one
I
you
was trying
said.
not to cheat. I was
It's all right. It's all good.
Well, I don't think we did that well.
That's okay.
That
Maybe
being
not
said,
smarter than a fourth grader.
You know, maybe we need to learn a little bit more through Frog Week.
Should have done our research. Now, if anybody is interested in maybe watching some of these videos and learning a bit more about these calls than we knew, where can they find them?
They want to check it out. I mean, this is actually a video from Frog Week from the Woods and Forests Media YouTube channel. So they could check that out and also go to paWoodsandForests.com if they want to see our event lineup. You want to join us for a frog walk?
I
See
totally
some
want to
frogs?
join for a
Yes.
frog walk.
We've got a few left this week, so.
Sounds amazing. We need to go on a frog walk.
I agree.
I
This is
am
just so
ready
cool.
and willing. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for bringing your pals over here. They are welcome back anytime. They were so well behaved. I didn't hear a single peep from them.
I'm really scared.
Well, thank you again so much, and happy Frog Week, everyone.